CleverTouch video, we're going to go over the annotation tools, which is the pencil icon that you may have noticed on your CleverTouch panel. That annotation tool works on any application. So let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to go here and go to the internet to access my annotation tool. So it's this gray little box with a pencil on it. And it doesn't just allow you to annotate. There's actually other powerful tools located here as well that we'll go over one at a time. One tip or trick I'd like to talk to you about first, though, before we get started, is how to get that annotation tool to come to you. If you use two fingers kind of spread out at the same time, anywhere on the panel. So let's say I was over here all of a sudden and I wanted that pencil icon, but instead of walking in front of the panel, if I hold two fingers, it will pull that icon up here to me. But I'm going to come back over here because I'm more comfortable on this side. There we go. And so to activate that icon, all you do is tap it once and it will show you your list of icons and what they do. And so let's go through these one at a time. I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. The first one is that back arrow. So you probably recognized that before when you're in a browser. If you complete an action, like you go somewhere, let's see, I'm maybe going to go to the Oldham County site. So when you go somewhere, there we go, and it works as the back button too. So if I wanted to go back to Google, I could click that and there I am. So let's go back to that so I can show you some other things here in just a minute. So that's that back button. The next one is the home button. It looks like a home or a house. And so that's very helpful if at any time you're not sure where you are when you're on the panel and you just want to get back to your main menu, all you have to do is click on that and it will take you back. So it's a very efficient way to get there. The next icon is a shortcut to the whiteboard. So it kind of looks like a board with a little pencil and some scribbles. So that will take you directly to the whiteboard application. The next one, you'll notice this icon, you've seen it before. It's our active icon that we showed you there on that main menu. And so it'll let you see all those applications that you have open so that you can close them out, you can quickly access them, or you can split your screen all right here again from that annotation menu. Come back in here to the internet. The next one is that actual pencil. And so that is that power of the annotation. When you click on it one time, it will pull up a small menu of items. It has your pencil that you can change a few different colors. And so you see that right now it is red. I can use my finger when I have it selected. Now, as I tap it, it changes colors on me. And I can use my finger to write, or I can pick up my stylus and I can also write as well if I want. The next one is a highlighter. So I can also use my finger to highlight and determine some importance, as well as also here, I can highlight with my stylus too. The next one is a search recognition tool, is what they call that. And so when you have that accessed and you search, you write with your finger or the stylus, it could be a word, it could be maybe an image, something you want to know more about, it will do a Google search for you. So maybe if I want some pictures of a cat, I can write the word, I can say, yes, this is the word I'm looking for, click that down arrow, and a Google search will come up of that word that I hand wrote or used with my stylus, and I can decide it's searching for cat for me. There we go, and then I can then look more into that. The next icon there is a broom, and so that erases everything you have annotated on your screen. If you click it, it goes away. The next button is the save button. It looks like a floppy disk. This would save it here to your storage on your device. That means all of your annotations on top of a website, an application, anything you're on, will save there to the panel. So you choose the folder you want to save it in and what you want to call it. The next button is a QR code button. The QR code button allows you to share whatever you have annotated on your screen with your viewers. And so it does make what we call a static copy of what you have. So what I've annotated to this point, when you scan this, will show up on an iPad, an iPhone, a Chromebook, whatever your students, if it's a parent night or teachers in a faculty meeting, whatever they scan, they have it in front of them now for that instructional use. The next button here in your menu is a cloud with an up arrow. That means you want to save these annotations to your cloud, but it's important that your cloud is sunk, or you have synced your drive here on your panel in order for it to save. The next button is a gear or the settings, and that just allows you to customize your colors here that are on your annotation tools. When you click it, it will allow you to look at the different colors you have for writing, as well as your different colors for highlighter options. And then last but not least, we have the X, and that will just take away our annotation tools so that we can get back to our full screen. Next in our menu, we have a magnifying glass. That allows you to zoom in or out of the panel efficiently. If you activate it, you can now zoom in by clicking that, or you can even use your finger to zoom in and out and back out as well. Make it full screen, back out with the subtraction, and exit it out. The next one is your snipping tool. So it looks like scissors with cutting kind of lines around it. The snipping tool is great for taking screenshots of your panel to then use in other places. So let's say I had work here and I want to take a screenshot of maybe my little Google icon here. And so you just move it around on the screen. You can use the sides to snip and make it larger or smaller, move it around to get it the exact size that you want. You can do part of the screen if you want by manipulating it, as well as full screen, the entire screen, by clicking that icon. You can even take it back down if you decide, nope, that's not what I want. After you have what you want to take an image of, you can either save it with that floppy disk right here on the panel, or your second option is if you want to pull it into the Whiteboard app, there is a little easel, and that would take my screenshot and pull it into the Whiteboard app to continue working with it. And then the last icon there is an X, so that when you're finished with that tool, it goes away. The next tool here we call is a wrench, and those are called your widgets, and those are some extra fun tools that you can use to help your classroom to run more efficiently. So let me show you a few of these tools located here in the widget. When I click on it, it's showing me 4 tools. The first tool is a flashlight. So that kind of enhances your instruction, and it darkens everything and allows you to move around that flashlight to uncover things there on the screen. I'm sure you can think of many instructional implications to make this fun and engaging for your students. So as you move it, you also have settings down here that you can make that flashlight larger or smaller, as well as the background. You can fade it or make it completely dark. And when you're finished with that flashlight, you just click that X button. So that's your first tool there in your widget. The second tool you have here is a timer. And so that might be something that now that you don't have to pull and access on a new tab, or maybe insert YouTube recordings there within your slides, because now you can use the timer here. It allows you to choose how long you want your timer to be, as well as, so I'm going to put this on a little bit longer, as well as to decide, do you want a noise to make it ring, or to not make a noise when it goes off. You can check or uncheck that ring if you'd like. And when you're ready, you just click that start button. What's great about this is, as you can see, when I tap off of it and continue working, it minimizes automatically to the bottom of the screen, so that's not distracting. You can also, if you want it up large, move it around the screen, as well as if that's the only thing you want up, you could make it whole screen so that your students can see it very easily, as well as go back down to that smaller one. When you're finished with the timer, you simply click the X button to make it go away. The next button there within the widget, the third one, is the stopwatch. And so you can start that stopwatch, and it works very similarly, where when you click off, it will minimize the bottom of the screen, but still is there, and you can pull it back up. And then you can also exit out when you're finished. Last but not least, in that widget, a new tool they have is the polling. Now, the polling is great, but the polling does work in real time without student logins, or it could be a faculty meeting and teacher logins, or parent logins if you're doing a parent night. But it's not really meant as something more of a summative assessment for you to keep that data. It's kind of that quick check to see if you're ready to move on to the next lesson, or what your small groups might look like for that workshop time. And so when you want to begin and you've activated it, you have to say, let your children, your teachers, if you're in a faculty meeting, or your parents at a parent night, they have to scan this QR code first with the device, and it will ask them, what is your name? And they can type that in. And when you're ready, you say enter that class, and your tools will pop up here at the bottom. You have to verbally tell your audience your question, but then you can decide, do you want them to vote, like multiple choice, A, B, C, D? Do you want them to judge or rank something? Do you want it to be a quick recall responder where it's more like a buzzer button? And so if you had small groups of students, they could use that responder and they would be the first ones that buzz, and then you could call on them. A selector is kind of like a random name picker or number picker, but they would have to all put their names in there in that initial response, as well as a message. That's kind of like a short answer response. So you can choose from down here which to use, as well as you can go explore that manager too. That is a tool that's very helpful, but I recommend that you kind of play with it and explore it more. And then when you're finished with it, you just go to that exit button. Last, but we have two more icons here, but the one I really want to talk about first though is what we call post-it notes. So it is a round icon with lines on it, and that allows you to pull up post-its anywhere that you are on your CleverTouch panel. They work by you just use your finger or the stylus to write right on them. As so. You can move them around, so it's great for taking notes kind of to the side. You can change the color by tapping on the color, so you could color coordinate them or categorize them. If you want to add a new one, there's a plus button here on the corner to keep on adding new ones. Move them around again. And then you'll notice two options when you're finished. You can you'll notice that little easel, that means pull this into my whiteboard if you want to save these and continue to keep your work. Whether it's student annotations, teacher thinking, anything. If you click on that icon, it will pull them into the whiteboard for you to save and access later. Or when you're finished, you can just use that trash can and delete them. So that's what I'll do here. And last but not least, this icon is a trash can, and that actually removes all of your data. And so that's one that I recommend that you don't use unless you're very sure that you want to remove all of your data from your files. And so when you click on it, it will ask you, are you sure you want to select folders to erase different content from? And I will probably always say cancel. So that's another icon I want to tell you about, but not one you'll really need to access. So this has been a video on your annotation tools located here within that gray little pencil. Thank you so much for watching.